Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're doing a very special video on turret placements on Temple of Anubis. Now for those of you who are new to my channel or who haven't been here since the beginning, I've actually made a lot of symmetric guides back in the day when I was in Grandmaster and Master. So if you guys want to check those out, you can just scroll back through my channel history and you'll find those videos. Now today's video is going to be very different because I'm just going to strictly talk about turret placement. If you want to know more about like Symmetra's playstyle or just general tips on how to play Symmetra better, then I've pretty much covered those in my previous guides. Firstly, Symmetra's turrets serve a variety of different important functions, and depending on how you use them, it can really impact on your gameplay overall. In my opinion, Symmetra's turrets have the greatest impact on how quickly you get your ultimate, how well you're able to protect it once you put it down, as well as how well you're positioned before an enemy push or a team fight begins. Now, I've played Symmetra for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and I've basically developed my own sort of custom turret placement styles, and I'm sure every other Symmetra player out there has their own ways of placing down turrets, but this is what I've found to work for me. Just before the round begins, I generally like to put 3 to 4 turrets sporadically in front of the choke point, just so when the enemy team pushes forwards, they aren't aware that the turrets are there, and it'll give you a nice little boost of ult charge before the enemy team destroys the turrets. Now in most cases, the attacking team will generally move into this sort of area where I'm standing right now, so what you want to do is move around and continually place turrets as you go, as well as firing orbs, and this should really help you to build your ultimate really quickly. So just to show you it in practice, I've already set up my turrets as I described before. Unfortunately, the enemy team's already taking them out, so I'm just moving around and putting my turrets up as I go. I'm also putting some turrets up here on the wall because I know that they probably will have a dive hero of some sort that will dive onto that platform, and I want my turrets to catch them out when they do. So as you can see, I've managed to get my ultimate really quickly just by moving around and putting turrets up as I go, as I demonstrated just before. Now I went shield gen here because I noticed they had a Widow and I didn't want to get sniped immediately because that can really stagger your team really hard. Now depending on what team comp the enemy is running, you're going to either want to protect your shield gen or teleporter, or you're going to want to protect the point. My general rule of thumb is if they have a lot of flanker heroes such as Tracer, Genji or Sombra, you're going to want to put more turrets around your ultimate, just as a safeguard measure. Otherwise you can probably place them more around the point. If your team is holding really well and it's getting towards that final minute of the round, one of my favorite ways to set up turrets is just like this around the bridge here in a sort of symmetrical formation, haha, because generally the enemy team will be trying to push really hard and those turrets will really catch them off guard. So in this clip here, I've lost 3 of my teammates and we're just about to lose the point, but I have my turrets set up as I described before, and this actually helps us to secure the point because they completely aren't expecting the turrets to be there and they just get freaking zapped. Now if you lose first point and you don't have your ultimate yet, what you want to do is to immediately put down turrets all around the point. So what I do is sort of put it in this kind of formation symmetrically just in front of the point, just so when the enemy team pushes hard, which they most likely will do, it will catch them off guard. And in most cases, the enemy team will look to push down mid, which is why I've set it up here. But of course, you have to adapt to the situation. If they are pushing left, then you set up your turrets around the left side of the point. If they're pushing on the right side, then you put your turrets over there. Once you've gotten your ultimate, and you'll be looking to put down a shield gen, because in very limited cases would you want to put down a tele on second point, I set up a cluster of turrets on this stone pillar here as you can see, and this is really useful against Tracers and Pharahs, because you either go hard or go home. If you don't put up enough turrets together, that Tracer or that Pharah won't die quickly enough and your shield generator will just get destroyed. And in my opinion, if you have your shield generator up, it's more important to protect that rather than putting your turrets on point and leaving your shield generator vulnerable to flankers. And just as a side note, this might be another good spot to consider when putting down your shield generator, because number 1, it's not very common and most people don't know about it, and number 2, it's pretty good against Sombras, because in order to take it out they need vision of the base, which means they need to go into that area, and that means that you can set up turrets all along the top and on the side walls where they won't be aware of it, and you'll pretty much give them a nasty surprise. I also notice a lot of Symmetra players like to put their shield gen behind the point here, and if you're going to do that, you might want to put your turrets along the top there, just so it's harder for the enemy to destroy them. But I really don't recommend putting your ultimate here because a lot of team fights spill into this area, and both your teammates and the enemy team will generally go into this space to sort of find cover and hide during team fights, and they'll probably destroy a shield gen if it's there. And I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I would really love to know what you guys think. Do you use the same sort of turret setups as me, or do you use something different? And would you guys like to see more of these kind of videos, just showing my different turret placements on different maps, or more guides for other heroes? I don't know, what would you guys like? Please sound off below and let me know. As always, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.